Hello, my name is Shai Melcer, and I'm the CEO of Biohouse, where we create different and redefine medical innovation. I want to thank the organizers of AWC 2021 for inviting me to speak here about the role of Israel in the biomedical world ecosystem. A few words about myself to begin. I was not born and raised in Jerusalem, but my entire professional career took place here in Jerusalem, which is the largest city in Israel and the state capital, and also with the richest biomedical ecosystem in the country. So I started my professional career here at the Hebrew University Mount Scopus campus, which is social sciences and law. And after I went to law school and got my master's in law, I practiced law here in the city center at a private law firm. After a while, I've decided to change my career and go into biology, and that's where I went to the Givat Ram campus, the Safra campus here, which is the scientific campus of the Hebrew University, where I studied biology and genetics and finished my PhD in the genetics department. During that time, I got involved in the interfaces between academia and industry regarding biology and biotechnology, and I was the co-founder of what is today the BioGive, which interfaces the Hebrew University and biomedical startups. After a while, I moved into government and I worked for the Jerusalem Development Authority, running the BioJerusalem project, which was where I got to know the entire Jerusalem biomedical ecosystem, including companies, investors, professionals, medical centers, university. And for about 4 years, I've created collaborations between big stakeholders in the biomedical ecosystem in Jerusalem. After that time, I moved into the private sector, and ever since I've been the CEO of Biohouse, which is today active in the En Kalem campus, a third Hebrew University campus, together with Hadassah Medical Center, one of the most important medical centers in the country. And so I'm here showing you one of Israel's best examples of a good biomedical ecosystem, because I believe that it's a microcosm for the entire Israeli biomedical ecosystem and a good lesson for the entire world, which is a good reason why many multinational corporations in the biomedical industry take home in Israel, either in R&D or in sales and marketing, or both. And I'm sure that you know most of these companies here, but the truth of the matter is that Israel got its name from being the startup nation. And being the startup nation is no different for biomedical companies as well. And I will give you now a few good examples of companies in Israel that made it in a very unique way on the global scene. We'll start with Biomed, which is a Jerusalem-based pharmaceutical company developing an orally delivered insulin version, which will change the way diabetics regulate their sugar levels, especially during the night, but not only. It's orally delivered. It goes into the bloodstream through the liver, passing the gut, and so it is better regulated by the liver with the entire sugar regime of the body. It's a much more physiological way to uptake insulin, and it's superior to intravenous developments or insulin derivatives, and they are now closing the end of phase 3 clinical trials. Another good example is Pluristem, which has made its name in the cell therapy world. Pluristem derives cells from the human placenta, donated by mothers, and they derive stem cells from these placenta and developed a wide variety of therapeutics from ischemia, radiation disease, and all the way up to dealing with symptoms of COVID-19. And they have been quite famous in that in the past year. Another company is Protalix, which is also a pharmaceutical company, but the uniqueness of this company is the production system. Actually, the drugs produced by Protalix are in carrot cells, carrot cell cultures that are easy to grow and are superior immunogenically. And so Protalix is now in the clinical trials and close to approving a Gaucher therapeutics, again, through growing the drugs in carrot cells. very unique platform on a global level. Staying in plants, we're moving into CollPlant, the medical device arena. CollPlant by Oded Shosayov has been able to grow human collagen in tobacco leaves. So 5 essential collagen genes are expressed in tobacco leaves. And after creating a tobacco pesto type, the collagen is actually produced from tobacco and then used as a medical device in a variety of biomedical arenas, be them orthopedics, wound care, and aesthetics. Very unique platform, again, superior to the existing collagen sources and plant-derived. Staying in the material world, we can see Cevix. Cevix is an up-and-coming scale-up company developing and preparing the world's first self-assembled spider silk. The tagline of the spider silk is the nature's strongest fiber, and it can be used in a wide variety of industries. It's totally a material sciences product that can be used as medical devices and other materials in the worlds of sports, defense, automotive, and others. And it is here, a Jerusalem-based company that for the past 6 or 7 years has set a name for himself, unique in this field. Brainsway is a groundbreaking company, FDA approved, selling these neurostimulation helmets that do deep TMS, deep transcranial magnetic stimulation, that allows for a wide variety of neuro phenomena to be treated, from depression, addictions, Parkinson's, and they're looking into dozens of other indications that are non-invasively treated and are a much better solution than drugs or psychiatric drugs and others, giving a new hope for people with neurophenomena to be treated. Again, a Jerusalem-based company. Medinol is a well-established production company in the world of stents. So the Israeli-based Jerusalem producing company has a unique patent on the profile of an openable stent within blood vessels. And this unique patent has allowed Medinol to create stents at a much lower price, much higher durability, and they are world-renowned for these stents. They are now also developing a new line of stents that are also drug releasing. Hill Applied Medical is a company in growth right now, reaching clinical trials and changing the way that radiotherapy for cancer growth, especially in the brain, but not only, is being administered. They have changed the way that proton accelerators develop, and instead of using the large particle accelerators that are very, very expensive and very large in size and so very rare, can be reduced into the size of a single room and 10% of the establishment costs using short time femtosecond laser proton acceleration technology here from the Hebrew University. Moving into digital health, 3 examples. The first, AtlasSense, which is changing the way that people are being monitored at home after being released from hospital in a variety of indications that require close monitoring in order to give early detection and treatment to people in risk groups, elderlies, people suffering from epilepsy and other diseases that do require close monitoring of their vital signs and early intervention before any damage is occurred. So AtlasSense has created very unique hardware and artificial intelligence-driven software that follows the patient. Staying with artificial intelligence, we have MDI. MDI is changing the way that multi-drug administration is being regulated. There's a large portion of the population that requires the administration of 5 drugs or more, which make it virtually impossible to efficiently regulate the adverse events between the different drugs. MDI uses artificial intelligence to regulate this drug regime of 5, 10, and more drugs and assist physicians in administering, in prescribing a large number of genes to their patients, of drugs to their patients. Day 2, again, an artificial intelligence-driven company that also works into the microbiome, the gut microbiome of its patients, deep sequencing of fecal specimens, together with a large variety of information that could be derived from the patient, will give a personalized nutrition recommendation for people with specific gut microbiomes. And you will be surprised at the different diets that would be subscribed, whereas the classic clinical dietitian would prescribe otherwise, going with the gold standard. So personalized medicine is very high with the Day 2 team. These examples and more are very specific to the Israeli ecosystem. And one has to wonder how Israel has acquired this place in the biomedical ecosystem. One of the things that we have going for us in the past 30 years is the involvement of capital from government within the risk-taking biomedical investment scene. So Israel has one of the highest GDP rates for R&D worldwide. And what we see here is a variety of logos that represent what we call incubators. Incubators led by the Israeli Innovation Authority in most examples, but not only. VLX, ELT Ventures, Sonala Ventures, FutureX, MindUp, Trendlines, and TerraLab and MEDX accelerators are all IIA incubators, which means that private money is being met by public money going into the biomedical portfolio. But we also have a variety of private incubators like Rainbow Medical, Alon MedTech, Merck Ventures, and Rad Biomed, which are very, very successful infrastructure-backed private incubators that push a rich portfolio in the system. Having said that, the incubators are not the only organizations funding biomedical startups in Israel. We also have a wide variety of VC culture and CVC, corporate VC entities here in Israel, including Amoon, one of the world's largest biomedical VCs today, with over $750 million allocated to biomedical companies. Biomed, the Israeli branch of the world-renowned Biomed VC. Israel's own Israel Biotech Fund, one of the most successful VCs today, especially for pharma and therapeutics. Pontifex, Alkin Ventures, Viola Ventures, and Tri Ventures are very well-known VCs in medical device and pharma development, including digital health here in Israel. And Medison Ventures, which is a corporate VC for Medison Pharma, is one of the newest additions here, also very successful in going into digital products. T-Site is a very interesting incubator as well, which is part incubator, part accelerator. The early stage companies funded by T-Site get a hands-on treatment. And that leads me to another unique element in the Israeli ecosystem, which is the wide variety of performance platforms, including accelerators like MedTech Ranana, A2B, Mass Challenge, and others, and unique platforms like BioGive, CoLab Square, the Biohouse, El Innovation, BioJerusalem, Queen Bee, and other organizations like BizMax that push forward on specific populations and make biomedical development much, much easier for the entrepreneurs. There's a very rich culture here in Israel that helps promote biomedical entrepreneurship. We teach in a variety of these platforms that you see here. We teach content, we bring strategic connections, and the government itself, like the Jerusalem Development Authority, is also involved in a lot of these efforts. So Biohouse is one of these unique platforms that either came from abroad to work here or have sprouted independently. And I'll give a few minutes about what we do. So Biohouse basically took the community revolution, which has been very successful in other industries like transportation, tourism, the working space, and others, we brought the community revolution into biomedical development. Basically, what we do is we take a platform that is uniquely adapted to a specific community, and we supply services to that community via the platform, just like all the other community revolution products that you know from other industries. So how do we do it? We actually deal with the same elements that the current ecosystem has been working with for decades, i.e. entrepreneurs, medical centers, and the basic development environments, and the investors. And we simply reorchestrated them around the Biohouse pivot in order to have these interactions between the different players take place in a more coordinated way. Our platform is built of an R&D labs located in medical centers. We supply professional services to our members in that platform, and we connect them to strategic partners from industry and investors. That's basically the platform that we built. We place that platform in medical centers because that is the natural habitat for technology to grow in the biomedical world. Medical centers are places of ideation and places of validation. So new ideas come out of top-tier medical centers, and they are well tested once the technologies mature in a real platform. That's why the collaborations we have here at Biohouse are very diverse. Not only do we interact with government and worldwide organizations, but we also work with local accelerators and other platforms to push forward because we bring our own value no matter who you are and in what platform you work with. We're also in touch with overseas medical centers all over the United States, Europe, and Australia as well. We work with Mount Sinai, we work with Cleveland Clinic, we work with other medical centers across the states, we work with the Israeli military, the government, we work with large corporations like AWS, NVIDIA, IBM, big pharmaceutical companies, etc. And we work with organizations that are on the national level of development. And our first site that we set out was in Biohouse Hadassah. This is where we did our proof of concept that it works. This is our site here, basically a top-notch working area, R&D, dry lab place for medical device companies and digital health, and where we connect to Hadassah. You can see Zev Rothstein, the MD here at Hadassah. We connect the companies to the hospital, and everything they need, they can get with door opening effect of Biohouse, and we also bring all the other services that I have mentioned before. A unique establishment that takes place in Biohouse is the Hadassah Accelerator, a first of its kind digital health organization accelerator that works here between IBM and Hadassah, so companies get the digital support, the software support, the AI support together with clinical validation. Biohouse Labs was our second site that we set up here at the Enkalim campus in an independent manner, and where we changed the way therapeutic development takes place. So we built wet lab space here, both in private labs and open space labs, together with a rich infrastructure all around the compound that includes microbiology, molecular biology, cell culture, and other aspects that biopharma companies require to perform development. And we give it as a service for a very limited time, as much as companies need, and help them push their product forward with our existing business platform. Biohouse is going global. Biomedical world is global by essence, and so we are deploying Biohouses across the world. We're starting with the US, setting up first centers, and having said that, this is where we also prove Israel's place in the biomedical ecosystem on a global level, because an entrepreneur that starts in the biomed sector needs to be global from day one, no matter where he starts. And so we're very proud to have won a tender by the Korean government, the KISED organization, and we are running today one of 6 KSCs, K-Startup Centers, here in Jerusalem, here in Israel, on behalf of the Korean government, accelerating Korean startups in the biomedical ecosystem, not only in the Israeli market, but also in the US market. We're very proud of this collaboration. We believe that it proves our international status. Everything that we do for our other Biohouse members, we now have an opportunity to deliver for Korean startups as well. So I want to thank you for spending these 20 minutes with me and listening about what Israel has done on a global scale in the biomedical ecosystem, how we differ from what happens in the rest of the world, and the role that Biohouse plays in this very important industry, the best industry in my opinion as well. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. Take care.